Welcome to Bryer's Music Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome back to another video. And in this one, we're doing episode 2 of my CD collection series of 2023. So, thank you for watching episode 1. It's doing pretty well right now, so I'm definitely looking forward to doing this next episode here. And I was, even though I said in the last video that I'm just going to try and mix it up and kind of do a separate video and then go back to this series, but enough said. So here we are. This is another section. So we've come down from that top shelf and now we're entering this area. And I'm just going to be straight up as we go through. You're going to see my storage system getting more and more convoluted, but it works. But anyhow, so I'm only going to be talking about this section here. So everything you see here, I'm going to talk about here. But you may also notice that there are some on top here, and then there's some inside. So I did this last year, but if you weren't here for that, then basically these are going to be talked about in their own separate video, and I'm probably going to save it till the very end of this series. So please stay tuned and watch this whole series, because at the very end I will be talking about these. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. Alright, so enough said. Let's just get started right here. This probably won't take as long as the first episode because there's not as many CDs here, but there's still some pretty interesting stuff. And again, some people have caught on of how diverse my taste is. That's kind of how I like it here. Alright, so now let's start for real. So we've ended off with Phil Collins, and now we're going to continue with Phil Collins. I just have a few left. So first up here, we have But Seriously. Very solid album, very good stuff here. Yeah, this is probably my third favorite, maybe. Third or fourth, I don't know, depends. Because this one is also pretty good in my opinion. This one's called Both Sides. What's notable about this one is that Phil actually plays all the instruments on this album. Of course, he was going through another divorce at the time, so Phil's always good at writing the breakup albums. Okay, I know there's another one he did, but I don't have it yet. But we're going to 2002. I think this one came out, and this one's called Testify. Very solid. Some good stuff here. Not one of his best, but some good stuff. Then I have this Greatest Hits, which I believe was the first Phil Collins related thing I ever got. And this one's pretty notable because it came with his cover of True Colors by Cyndi Lauper, which is a pretty good cover. Alright, next up, let's go for some more jazz. So we have some John Coltrane. I'm pretty sure I have these out of order, but regardless, first one I'll show, this one's called My Favorite Things. I mean, it pretty much has a whole 15-minute jazz version of My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, very good here. And I have what's mostly considered his greatest album. We have A Love Supreme, another very good jazz record. I say record, even though it's a CD, but roll with it. But yeah, very good stuff. I'm definitely enjoying what I'm hearing from John Coltrane. Well, hopefully we'll get more in the future. Alright, after that, I only have one. We have Alice Cooper. Now, when putting Alice Cooper in a collection like this, it's kind of hard because there's Alice Cooper the band and there's Alice Cooper the solo artist. So it's like, where do you put them? Do you put them in the A or do you put them in C? And I was like, screw it, I'll put them in C. So I only have $1 Billion Babies right now. So one day we'll get more. But this is still a really good album. One of the band's more well-known albums. I mean, you have big hits or well-known songs like No More Mr. Nice Guy and the title track. So it's a good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, now let's go back to some jazz fusion. We have Chick Corea with Return to Forever. Another one I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's just some great piano playing because Chick Corea is a keyboardist and piano player. Stan Clark, a great bass player on this. Yeah, Flora Purim, hopefully I said that right, but she provides vocals on here, and I think I can't remember where she was from originally, but you can definitely tell she's English was not her first language, but this is still very good stuff. All right, then we have Cream, my only Cream. We have, I always forget how to say it, but Disraeli Gears, again with that very psychedelic cover. Of course, he has Sunshine of Your Love on it. What's there to say? All right, and then we have my Credence Clearwater Revival stuff. I have all 7 of their albums. So, of course, we have the debut. Then after that, we have the 3 albums from 1969. We have Bayou Country, Green River, and of course Willie and the Poor Boys. Then we get to my personal favorite CCR album, Cosmos Factory. And then Pendulum. Solid album, not one of their better ones, but there's some good stuff on it. And then of course we have Mardi Gras. It exists. Alright. Then we have some Crosby, Stills and Nash. We have the debut, of course. Me and Garrett, Nick, and Jason reviewed it on Garrett's channel, so check that out. I'll leave a link to this. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's morning. I just woke up. Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, I'm right. I was like, am I out of order? But no, I'm fine. Okay, next we have, of course, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young with Deja Vu. Then we have, again, people are going to be surprised I actually own it, but it was only it was less than $1, so I was like, why not? Here's Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, American Dream. And yeah, the reputation of this being a bad album kind of sticks, and you kind of know it because, one, I didn't remove the price sticker on it, and also because I never bothered fixing it. I don't know. I really should, but I don't know. I'm not in a rush. I'd say my probably the best song on here is probably "Got It Made," which is, I think, was a Stephen Stills song, but the rest is kind of take or leave. But yeah, I own it because why not? Okay, after that we now have Christopher Cross with his debut. Of course, was a huge success in the 70s and controversially beat the Pink Floyd with The Wall. So I don't know. Ignoring that part, this is still a really good soft rock, yacht rock type of album. Some good songs, of course, like Sailing. I Really Don't Know, which has Michael McDonald on it as well. He sings on Ride Like the Wind. So yeah, good stuff. Then we have this greatest hits. We have Culture Club with Boy George and company. As of right now, probably all I'll need from Culture Club, but they made some good songs. Then my only 2 Cure albums, we have Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and then we have Disintegration. Great stuff. Definitely am gonna see if I can get more Cure sometime down the line. Alright, and the last one to close out the C category, we have Miley Cyrus. Yeah, I have one Miley Cyrus album, and this is her latest album, I believe, came out this year. This one's called Endless Summer Vacation. Huh, I like it. I like it. No shame. Alright, now that we're done with the C, now we enter the D's. Alright, so next up, this is a very, very good album. Not sure how many people know about it, but it's a very good one. This is a super group. This came out in 1990, I think. Yeah, 1990, if I'm not mistaken. So you have Damn Yankees. This is their debut. And of course, the main two people on this album, of course, you have Tommy Shopsticks, and then you have Ted Nugent. Let's see if I can look up the other guys. Who are the other guys? Michael Cartel, Michael something, and then Jake Blades. I have no idea where they were from originally. I think somebody did tell me, but I'm forgetting at the moment. Again, like I said, it's morning. But yeah, this is a terrific album. Just some great, good old late 80s, early 90s rock. I mean, Tommy Shaw sounds fantastic. Of course, Ted Nugent has some great guitar work as well. Just a really good one. Go check this one out if you're curious, because this is it's damn good. Oops, hold on a sec. There we go. Fix that up. All right. Like, we're gonna go from Phil Collins. We have CCR. We have Miley Cyrus. Now let's go to something more extreme. So let's go for some black metal, folks. Yep, I do like some black metal. So, first up, I have 3 from this particular black metal band. This is actually the first black metal band I got into. We have Dark Throne. This is A Blaze in the Northern Sky. Yeah. Again, black metal is a genre where I do have to be in the right mood to listen to it, but yeah, I mean, it's menacing, it's harsh, it's chilling, it's just, again, it's a genre you're either gonna love or not like at all. So but it took me a while to really tolerate black metal, because I've always been fascinated with the history of it. So yeah, and this is probably the first Dark Throne album I ever listened to. We have Under a Funeral Moon. I've always did like the kind of these dark album covers, you know. Definitely very eye-catching. Then of course, some people say this is their best one. It's not one. I wouldn't say it's overrated, but it's like, I don't know. This one's probably the most stereotypical black metal. You know, all the songs kind of blend together. But anyhow, this one's called Transylvanian Hunger. But yeah, we'll be seeing a bit more black metal as we go along. But next up, we have a band called Daughtry. I only know the one song, which is called No Surprise, which I've always liked. The rest of the album's okay, and I believe the lead singer was on American Idol, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, just trivia for you. All right, let's go back to some jazz. We have some Miles Davis. Of course, we have Kinda Blue, one of his most influential jazz albums, and it's very good. Next up, we have Sketches of Spain. Has some Spanish influence. Then we have some from his jazz fusion period. We have In a Silent Way, which I think this is probably my favorite era of Miles Davis. And then of course his other famous jazz fusion album, we have Bitches Brew. Yeah, really enjoyed that stuff. I want to get more of his jazz fusion stuff. And maybe some other jazz, some more traditional jazz albums. Alright, next we have Taylor Dane, 80s pop singer. We have Tell It to My Heart. Then we have Can't Fight Fate. Hold on a sec. I want to see something real quick, because I don't know if you can see it on camera. Let's see. Can you see it? So I'm going to say yes, because there's actually a spider there. Oh man, that's kind of freaky. Hopefully it doesn't get too close. Let me just try to fix. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, you could definitely see it there. Oh my god, that's gonna be distracting. Hopefully no one's afraid of spiders here. Luckily, I'm kind of used to them, but I don't want them on me. But anyhow, let's keep moving. Next up, we have Deep Purple. Love Deep Purple. Really great band. I've enjoyed pretty much most of the things I've heard from them. So this is basically my Deep Purple collection. So first up, we have, of course, the early period with Rod Evans, the Mark I lineup. We have Shades of Deep Purple, the Book of Taliesin, which is probably my least favorite of this period. I don't know, maybe too many covers, and I don't know, it didn't really interest me that much. But this one's better. I think they went out on a high note. This is probably my favorite of the Mark I. We have the self-titled album, which is just called Deep Purple. Which on this album, you can definitely hear where the band was going, which all came together when they got to this one. We have the first one of the Mark II lineup. We have In Rock, probably my favorite Deep Purple album. Just Ian Gillan, just off the cuff, just absolutely killing it on the vocals with his shrieks and screams, and when he goes low, it sounds incredible. So great album. And the spider's gone now, so we're safe for now. Yeah, I'm good. Fireball's next. Not another solid album. They've done better though. Like this one, we have Machine Head. I mean, what's there to say? It's got Smoke on the Water, Highway Stars, Space Truckin', Lazy. Classic album. Then we have the live album, Made in Japan. Great live album. I'll probably maybe talk about that in a later video. Who Do You Think We Are? Probably my least favorite of this Mark II run. Then we have the Mark III, which now we have Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale in the band. We have Burn, another fantastic album. Killer. Then we have Stormbringer. You know, this one's a bit more funky because of Glenn Hughes, but I still think it's a great album. Now here's one of the more polarizing ones. We have Come Taste the Band with Tommy Boland replacing Richie Blackmore. So, some people like it, some people don't. I think this is a really good one. If you just accept Tommy Boland in the band, then it's a great one. I mean, he has a different style than Richie, of course, but I think he plays really well. So, yeah, I think this is a good one. Then, years later, we have the return of the Mark II lineup. We have Perfect Strangers. Solid album. And then my last Deep Purple album is this one they released in 2013. We have Now What? Again, you have, who is the guitarist again? Oh man, I'm forgetting his name. Oh man, Steve Morse on guitar. And then you have Don Airey on keyboards. And yeah, some people can't accept Deep Purple without Richie Blackmore, but I still think they're releasing pretty good music today. Alright, and now we move on to some Def Leppard. Let's go to here with their first album, On Through the Night. Pretty good debut, at least for a first time. But when they get to the second album, they've stepped up quite a bit. We have High and Dry. Of course, has their first well-known song with Bringing On the Heartbreak. Let It Go is great too. Title track's nice. Yeah, good album. Album cover's kind of weird though, because I think, if I remember correctly, this was originally pitched to Pink Floyd, but they turned it down. But then Def Leppard kind of like, we'll take it. But here we have my personal favorite Def Leppard album. We have Pyromania. Of course, many big songs on here. You have Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, Stage Fright, Foolin', Rock of Ages, of course. Billy's Got a Gun. Yeah, love it. And I also love this next one. We have Hysteria. Again, probably the most successful and commercially successful album. I mean, again, you have Women, Rocket Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Armageddon, God of War, title track. Yeah, I mean, it's my second favorite, but this is like almost, this is like also classic Def Leppard. Then after that, they kind of fall off a little bit. You have Adrenalize, which is okay. There's some good songs on here. And that's pretty much all I have of Def Leppard, except for this album that they released last year, or maybe earlier this year. I can't remember where it came out. Actually, yeah, it came out last year. I remember because I featured it in my top 10 worst CD purchases of that year. So we have Diamond Star Halo. It's not horrible, but it doesn't really wow me. I mean, there are some people who I've seen reviews people do of this album, and they think, "Oh my God, this is the best album they've done in years." And I'm like, the bar is already so low, so it doesn't really say much to me. But yeah, I have it, so why not? Okay, next, let's bring it back a little bit. So let's move away from rock. Let's go for some more folk, a little bit of country type of music. We have some John Denver. Okay, first up we have Poems, Prayers, and Promises. Then we got Rocky Mountain High. Then the last one I have is Back Home Again. Again, I love some John Denver. Just a very good, relaxing type of artist. Alright, next, another classic album here. We have Derek and the Dominoes. Of course, you have Eric Clapton. You have, like, of course, you have Duane Allman, Jim Gordon, and other people. Very classic album. The title track, of course, is legendary. I don't think I said the title of the album. It's called Layla, or in full, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs. Alright, and here's my only album from this particular artist. So, pretty notable person because he was formerly the lead singer of this band. Of course, this band was Styx, and the lead singer originally was Dennis DeYoung. So I have his first solo album, and I got it mainly because of the hits. So you have the title track, which is a great 80s ballad type of song. And then you have Don't Wait for Heroes, which is also a good number. The rest is pretty okay. I don't know, I haven't listened to this one in a long time, but the singles on here are really good. Like, really some underrated 80s pop sort of song. So again, check out Desert Moon. That's probably my favorite of his solo work. But yeah, that's all I have. And then I have this greatest hits. We have some Neil Diamond. Yep, I enjoy some Neil Diamond. Hopefully we'll check out his studio albums at some point. Then here's my only album of this band. We have the Dio Band, of course, with Ronnie James Dio and company. Again, many classic hard rock numbers. Of course, you have Stand Up and Shout. The title track, of course, is legendary. Gypsy, Caught in the Middle is great. Don't Talk to Strangers. Rainbow in the Dark is another great one. Yeah, great stuff. Again, another one I need more albums from. Actually, no, you're supposed to be down there. And then we go to some Celine Dion. So yeah, I love Celine Dion. I think she has a great voice. So I don't have that many. This one is called Let's Talk About Love. Notable songs on here. Of course, you have Immortality, which features the Bee Gees. And this is also the home. Well, they kind of put this on the album, but you have My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. So yeah, it's got that going. And I believe Barbra Streisand's on this one too. Yeah, she's on it. I see it. Then I have my only Christmas album, and it is by Celine Dion. We have These Are Special Times. When the holiday seasons approach, this is a good one to put on. Granted, I do kind of skip the R. Kelly one for obvious reasons. Anyhow, moving on, we have A New Day Has Come. And then finally, from Celine Dion, I have The Essential. I mean, there's a 2 CD pack, So of course this is a good one. So I think for right now I'm pretty covered when it comes to Celine Dion. So yeah. Alright. We have Dire Straits next. I only have 3. But these 3 are probably the most well known from them. Of course we have the debut. Great debut. I mean, the guitar playing goes without saying. Then we have Making Movies. Romeo and Juliet. Fantastic song. And then the last one I have is Brothers in Arms. Okay, my only album of this band. This is an Australian band. And we have The Vinyls. Of course, notable for having the song I Touch Myself. You can figure out what that means. But it's a good stuff. Good, like, 90s alternative rock. Alternative rock, pop rock, yeah, one of those two. Okay, now let's head back to the hair metal scene. We have Dokken. So, I only have 2. We have Tooth and Nail. Pretty cool cover, I must say. Got the claw, hand. Pretty cool. Then we have Under Lock and Key. Probably my favorite Dokken album so far. Good stuff. I mean, George Lynch, killer guitar player. Alright, and then to close us out for episode 2, we have 2 from the Doors. Well, I have another Doors album, but we'll cover that one next episode. So, of course, we have the debut, classic, I would say essential 60s album. Then, to close out this episode, we have the second album, which is called Strange Days. Probably their most psychedelic album, maybe. Probably. But it's a good one, too. Alright, so that closes that out for episode 2. Of course, comment below which one was your favorite of this whole collection here. So next episode, we're going to kind of move down this shelf, and we'll talk about the rest here. So look forward to that. Until then, please give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell, that sort of thing. You know the drill. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.